It's rookie camp season, and we're going back to the Carolina Panthers, and we're going back to looking at Xavier Legette. We found more clips on him today. The Panthers dropped more clips on him running routes, catching some balls. We're going to look at those, plus some of the older clips. But before we do that, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're covering these rookies extensively day in and day out during rookie camp. And then here in a few days, it's OTAs, then it's mini camp, then it's training camp. And if you want to know what your players are doing, you need to follow this channel right here. Click that button. Stop missing out. We're taking a look at Xavier Legette here. 32 seconds of highlights from rookie camp here. We're just going to let it rip and talk some ball on him. Here's the new one posted today. That's what we saw here. Here's another one from the other day here that we saw. Big time miss by the quarterback, Plummer. Another one here. Boom, nice catch. And we're getting into some of the older clips, but still, stretching out. You can see the size on him. Big, thick, wide receiver with some speed here. That nasty highlight catch that we saw earlier in rookie camp season. Just in case you missed it. But here's the highlight from today. This grab right here. And it's blowing up social media right now. Just a quick clip. Here's another one from, I think, yesterday or the day before, or probably Saturday. And then here's another one breaking off a route. So, talking about Xavier Legette, I love his size-adjusted athleticism. I think that's going to allow him to tap into some upside here. He has to develop some. Didn't run a full route tree at South Carolina, but when you got to the Senior Bowl, especially day 3 of practices, that's when he let it rip. That's when he was creating separation. That's when he was nasty off the break. He just wasn't asked to. Older wide receiver prospect had to work through some things, but you know what? We made it here. He's from the Deep South, played ball at South Carolina, playing for the Carolina Panthers. Seems like a good fit geographically there from what we're seeing here in the southern United States. But we got good size-adjusted athleticism. We run into 4.3s. We're a big wide receiver, body-wise, size-wise, athleticism-wise. Kind of got some specs to DK Metcalf. I would not make that a comparison, but a guy that you run a lot of drag routes with, you give him a little space, could house it. Again, we got some developmental work to do here to get better, but the baseline, the foundation's there for him to be a big-time wide receiver prospect here at the NFL level. And I said this multiple times before. When I look at Xavier Legette, I just don't see him hanging out in the middle of wide receivers. I don't see him being like a wide receiver 25, 30, 35, or even 40 in production. I feel like with him, we're either going to get it all, which top 10, top 15 guy, or nothing. That's what I feel about him. That is my analysis, my take on Xavier Legette. Because when I look at him, I can definitely see how he can really exceed expectations, how he can be a big-time playmaker at the NFL level, how he can be the main guy here in Carolina, how he can take over the targets, how he can get yards after the catch, how he can win on the field. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see him taking over with that size-adjusted athleticism. But I also see the downside because that's also baked in with his production profile, also baked in with his age-adjusted production, and also not the most nuanced, the most refined wide receiver out there. But if you're looking at the downside, you're going to be thinking I'm down. If you're looking at the upside, you're going to think I'm over the moon. But that's what I think about him. I just do not see him being in the middle. I feel like he's going to hit either way. I feel like he's a boom-bust wide receiver. And really, if you're half full, half empty type person, you're going to look at that a certain way. But good size-adjusted athleticism, very aggressive wide receiver. I love aggressive wide receivers when they're getting in and out of breaks and when the ball's in their area. They got that my ball mentality. You're going to get that with Xavier Legette. He's going to be able to get you some yards after the catch with that size-adjusted athleticism and speed. This is a guy that could exceed expectations because the foundation's there. When I mean by exceed expectations, I'm talking about a big-time producer that was just sitting under the radar, right under your nose right there, and then all of a sudden splashes with production. And those are the type of wide receivers that can really transform your depth chart, can really transform the production of your overall offense. And if The downside hits, it hits. But at least you took that shot on an upside wide receiver. Dynasty, fantasy football, same thing. Same thing, especially with the Carolina Panthers. If you're a Panthers fan watching this, same thing. And you know what? Embrace the upside. Embrace this, because you know what? If you get a ho-hum wide receiver 2 at a round 2 price tag, it's not really going to set you apart. But you got a player like this. If he hits, if he taps into his upside, he could transform your team. He could allow Bryce Young to take a step forward. That's what you're looking with him. You run him on some drags, some short stuff, stretch him deep every now and again. You got yourself a good wide receiver here. You got yourself a ball of clay that you can mold. And if it molds to what you want, you might have something fabulous here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.